own Coach Lowry, aka Seville. We got a very special guest today, but today's episode is 102. Wow, we had 102 episodes. Thank God for that. But today, guess what? We got some great things we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about baseball like we always do, but we're gonna talk to the very own guy that got drafted in 2010, may not seem too long ago, 20th round by the Toronto Blue Jays. Also, he is a native of United States citizen. He also played for Bakersfield College up in California. And also, he had a long stint with the minor leagues. Went up to AAA for a while, and we're going to get into that as well. But the topics for today we're going to talk about is this. What is it like getting drafted? Because a lot of times there's guys don't know what it is to get drafted. What is it like getting drafted? Now we don't have the many as rounds as we used to have, but he got drafted kind of late. But hey, I can tell you this: better late than never. The brother is playing some ball. And the second thing we're going to talk about today: what are the two things you can tell guys that are in the states to how to prepare for international baseball? It's something that people don't know. We're gonna get it from a guy that's
Hmm.
playing international ball, but he's from the States. I gotta throw that in there. And the third thing we're gonna talk about, what can you tell the listeners today how to prepare for that D1 scholarship or that opportunity to get that offer? Because here in the States we play a lot of travel baseball. Overpopulated. I think it's on steroids a little bit, but I'm not gonna go on a tangent. But I think that I need to hear from other guys besides myself because I am a coach. I coach here, but as well, we're going to go ahead and introduce very own guest today. His name is Arthur Charles. As I stated before, got drafted by the 2010 20th round by the Toronto Blue Jays. With that, he played with them. He got traded, which I just found out. He got traded 2013 by the very own Phillies. He spent, I guess, 3 years, 2013 and
Yeah.
2015. And then he got released in 2016. Played indie ball. Okay, so he played indie ball and he played there for a year, and he won the Triple Crown. Now this brother must can play. I don't understand, but it's politics in every sport. It is. It's politics. With that, after he played with indie ball guys, he also had an opportunity to sign with the Cincinnati Reds. So he signed with the Reds for a year, and then that crazy Rule 5, which you can research it. We don't have time to go over the Rule 5 draft. He signed with the Brewers, and from that point, 2017. Late after that, after his stint with the Brewers, he just went over and played Mexico ball. And now, this is the good part. Let me throw this in here. This guy can hit the long ball. Now I've had some guys on this. I've had some guys on my show now. I haven't had a very many international guys, but this guy seemed like I did some clips on him, watched a little few YouTube shorts. This guy can hit the long ball. So I mean, he reminds me a little bit of what's the guy? Fred McGriff a little bit when he swings. A little bit like Fred McGriff.
Crime dog.
Yeah, he reminds me a little Fred McGriff. But with that being said, he's also one last thing before me go ahead. One more. He also is a two-time All-Star. Okay, I'm gonna throw that in there. And also, he run the home run derby in Mexico. Now, come on now, let's give this guy a hand for that. That is an accomplishment within itself. The very own Arthur Charles. How you doing, Arthur?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you. Appreciate your time.
Man, that's a pretty long intro, but
And I must say I appreciate the intro too. Yeah,
that
that's
was
love.
that was a lot of love. You got a whole lot of love right there. This guy got a lot
Yeah.
of love. I like he got some love. I've had some guys on here before that you probably can remember. I just had Adron Chambers played for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yep.
He was on yesterday. We recorded yesterday.
Hmm.
Also, I had Derek May, which you probably know who Derek May. He played with the Cubs, and he
Hmm.
also played with the Cardinals. He was a left-hand hitter. Also had uh, Mark Whitten that played for
Wait.
St.
Okay.
Louis back in the day. He was a character. He's so funny. That guy is so funny. He looks totally different than he was then. And had another guy named Jason Michaels. He played with the Phillies. So
Okay.
I've had quite a few guys on, and one other guy, you probably would know. He's a second baseman, uh, Dasi. I forgot Dasi, Disi Rutherford. He played also middle infield, but you probably
The
remember for
name, that
rings a
name
bell.
sounds familiar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he played. I had quite a few guys on here. I had a couple more guys on here, but I don't want to. I just want to let you know that you're in a familiar area with the guys. They come on my show, the You Going Pro podcast. But before that, before we even talk, I'm gonna have a commercial break. This commercial break is by YGP. Are you looking to play college baseball? Are you looking for that offer? But guess what? Coach Lars got something for you. Stay tuned because we got a book coming out September 30th. September 30th. The name of the book is Are You Really D1? Catch that? You caught that, Arthur.
I
Are You
did.
Really D1? That's the name of the book, so stay tuned. It's going to be coming out September 30th. Next week, we will have all the plugs so you can go ahead and get your pre order in. And that is the book, Are You Really D1? Well, further ado, let's put it Arthur. Arthur Charles, how are you doing, sir? And what is life like in Mexico?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm currently out here in Cancun. We're playing against the team here. You know, beautiful weather. You know, it's a little bit humid, but no, everything's going well. Everything's going well.
Cancun.
We're blessed.
I
Yep.
like that. Cancun. I've never been to Cancun, which I told you my wife's from Mexico. She's from the other part of Mexico,
Mhm.
Tamaulipas. I think that's closer towards Texas. That's that area down there towards
Okay.
Texas. And it's a different part of the world. It's like going from California to New York, I guess would be say, because you're
Okay.
closer to the other side. But it's all good, man. First thing I want to talk about your beginning, the genesis. When you first started, you went to school. I'm assuming you went to school in California because it said
Yeah.
Bakersfield.
Yeah.
And what was that like back in 2009? 2000, that's a way. Let's go
I know.
back.
I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old.
Let's talk about that.
Time
When
is
you
going by.
you go into high school in California. What was that like for little Arthur Charles? What would you little Arthur Charles tell big Arthur Charles now? As far as high school, did you waste any time? What would you tell yourself now if you're preparing today?
Well, knowing what I know now, and knowing about the game and all the lessons that I've learned, I would tell myself to get more of a mental routine. You know, I think that's the biggest thing. I've always had tools, I always had power. You know, I had those abilities, those attributes, right? Those blessings from God. But the biggest thing that I think I lacked and that I could have been better at now, and what I kind of try to instill in younger players now,
Okay.
is the mental side of the game, the mental strength, you know, understanding routine, understanding what visualization is, you know, how to
Mm,
be a little bit more positive, you know, and just creating a some type of routine or some kind of mental approach, you know,
cool.
to help myself have more success in the game.
I like that because you're all in my book, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in. I'm throwing a plug. You're already in my book, so
Okay,
I'm like,
there we
listen,
go.
you're already in there because I started thinking about that. It's like, man, this guy is really hitting it off because I coach high school baseball here in South Florida. So in South Florida, everybody here think they're going to get drafted or they're going D1. Everybody,
Hmm.
and someone can't even tie their shoes and spit at the same time, but they still believe that they're gonna play D1
Yeah, yeah,
baseball. And I was
yeah.
like, it's funny that you said that because most guys, when I ask that question, they don't say that. You know,
Hmm.
you know, if you can go back in time, you probably had. I don't, was you a? How many tools do you think you had? You had five tools, three tools, or two tools?
Well, I had power. I had a good arm. I was mid 90s arm as well.
Okay.
I could run for a big dude. You know, my 60 was like 6'7", 6'8".
That's
Yeah,
fast. What you mean? Like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
great. Wait a
Yes, I
second.
could run a little bit. So, you know, and I, you know, so I think I had, you know, three tools, you know,
Okay.
four tools, and you know, just
Like, man, what are you talking
yeah.
about? That's some good
But
stuff,
I was
man.
really raw though. You know,
Okay.
I didn't get really, you know, to the. I hooped as well. I played basketball as
Oh,
well. So I
oh.
didn't really like dive into one sport. I did multiple sports. So I had actually more scholarship offers for basketball than baseball. So it was one of those things like,
Oh.
man, like where am I going with this, and trying to make a decision, and realizing that, you know what, you know, baseball is the route that I wanted to take. And then
Okay.
when I fully gave that all my attention, I started to blossom and bloom a little bit more.
Okay. Now you didn't throw up another question that I had no idea. I like this. So, as an athlete, so basically you're an athlete. That's the bottom line. And it's
Hmm.
interesting you're talking about that because I had another guy, like I said, Adron Chalmers was on here yesterday, and he talked about he played football. Now he's
Hmm.
short. Now he's short.
Yeah,
Now he still play football, but most guys think they can play football. They start with football. So you play basketball. So you're
yeah.
about 6'4", 6'6".
6'6". Yep.
So you have to play first base. Is that correct? You playing your first
Yeah,
baseman.
yeah. I play first base.
So
Yeah,
you're a first baseman. So explain to me in California. Let's break this down. In California, you're an athlete playing basketball and playing baseball. So what was it like being an athlete making that conversion? Like, cause you had love for. It's like Bo Jackson. You know, if you remember Bo Jackson. Bo
yeah,
Jackson
yeah.
was a phenomenon. He's
I
like
wish I
he.
was. I wish I was as great at both of those as he was at baseball and football.
Cause that dude was a chisel. He was a chisel. That guy.
Man,
I
dog.
love. A lot of kids don't know who he is. They don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, stop looking at ESPN and do some research.
Oh yeah.
Bo Jackson was the epitome of an athlete. He was the
Man.
epitome of that. Am I right, Arthur?
100%. 100%.
I'm
He might
like,
be the best athlete that we done seen. You know, he's
see,
up there for sure.
right. Because everybody wants to say like Michael Jordan. No, I love Michael Jordan. No disrespect to Michael Jordan. He's a great basketball icon, one of the best. And I don't like using the word goat because everybody think they're the
Hmm.
goat. And Michael don't even think he respect talent. He don't even say he is a goat. And I love that
Hmm.
about him. He don't even say that. But some guys, we won't say their names, the ones that are playing today. We don't say that. But
Yeah, yeah.
I'll go back to the athlete part because I like what you said because most guys, which you probably notice in the States, the parents saturate their kids, put them in all these showcases, put them all these travel baseball, put them in all this little league, and they saturate them in one sport. And I've had many, like I've 102 episodes. Thank God for that. I praise God for that. But the point I'm trying to say is, I think you need to be an athlete first because there's other parts
Hmm.
of your body when you're in high school. When you're in high school, Arthur, you're 14, 15, all the way to 18. So I think when you can elaborate on this, don't you think it's better to make you blossom in one sport if you're an athlete?
I think it's better for sure. I tell people all the time, they're like, yeah, like I just want my son to focus on this and that. And I'm like, man, like your son's so young, like let him go do everything, let him be like you said, let him explore his body a little bit. Let him put his body in different movements, different movement patterns, and biochemically, as they get older, they're gonna have a little bit better tools, like we talked about, that athleticism, that peripheral vision that you get from basketball can help you in baseball, seeing everything, seeing the whole floor, seeing the whole field. Um, your explosiveness. It's just there's just so many things that you can benefit from playing more than one sport, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah,
Instead of just playing and being stuck to one. Now, is there a point to where yeah, maybe you say, okay, I can focus a little bit more on this sport or put a little bit
right,
more? Yeah,
right,
for
right, right,
sure.
right, right, right.
You know, but I think prior to that, you should definitely experiment different sports, play in different sports, and understand and enjoy.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
those things can do for you for
I
sure.
like that. And also, you build more relationships and you learn how to deal with
Yeah,
conflict.
in
Conflict.
different ways.
Right. Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
different sports
Conflict.
bring different adversity.
Oh yeah, it surely does. I mean, because baseball is, and you can agree or disagree. I personally believe baseball is one of the top three hardest sports. I don't want to say the hardest, but the top three. And you can elaborate on this. Tennis is one, baseball is two, and golf is three. I personally
Yep.
think those three are the hardest sports. Not because everybody always says baseball, baseball. I say yeah, but what do think about also golf? Because I mean, to be a Tiger Wood or Jack Nicklaus or all these other great golfers, I mean, you hitting a little round white ball in a little hole.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, I'm just,
With a
I'm
with a
just.
small club, and if you hit it a little bit this way
Hey,
inside of it, it's gonna shoot. If you
shoot.
hit a little bit around it, you're gonna slice. You got to hit that little ball real perfect to
Right.
get it to go straight or do it and manipulate it any way you want. It's tough, that's for sure. I just bought me some clubs, so I know I'm about to go through it.
You got some
It's
lefty
gonna be
club. You got some lefty clubs or some righty clubs.
some lefty clubs. Yeah, some
Okay,
lefty
okay.
clubs.
They're
Yeah,
hard to find because I can't. They're so hard to find, and
they're
righties are
expensive.
yeah. Lefties are a little more expensive than righties because I've tried to pick up some at which you probably don't have this Dick's. Dick
Oh,
Sporting
yep, we
Goods.
got one.
Oh,
Yep,
you do.
Dick's.
Try to
Yep,
find them here, and they don't have lefties. They have
you got to
writers.
order them. Yeah, you got to order
So I'm like, come on,
them.
man. Cause I'm the type of guy when I go in the store, I want it then. I don't want to order
A
it. I
hundred
don't.
percent.
I just don't like waiting. If I want it now because I got the little itch. I
A
want to
hundred
do it.
percent.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I
and
got
and you want to hit them before you get them. You know what I
right,
mean? You
right,
want to
right,
try it
right.
out.
But I got to sit
Yeah,
here and wait like this and wait like this and wait. And then I was like,
yeah,
oh man. So yeah, cause it's just. I mean, we're going on the tangent. I'm enjoying this, man. Being an athlete is
definitely.
so important. I'm from Chicago, so I played basketball for a very short period of time, but I
Hmm.
love football. I'm similar to you. Coming from a big city, as you stated before, I'm not coming from the best city in Chicago. It wasn't the best, but we made the best of the situation. But I think personally, because I excelled more because based on what you just said and what I agree is being an athlete, just playing different sports and meeting different people, different life
Hmm.
lessons, different adversities, how you handle things, because
Yep.
6'6", brother. I'm still ain't gonna forget that 6'6". So back then you probably was about, and I'm correct me if I'm wrong. 6'6", you're probably about 200 in high school, maybe 205, 210, because you probably wasn't
Yeah.
that back then.
Yep. Probably around like 200, something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah. Yeah.
and you love basketball.
Yep, loved playing basketball, and it was different. It's a different aspect too than baseball because I feel like you can control so much more. You can use that emotion and really put it to gear in a direction and make and let some of it out. In baseball, you get too emotional, it can go downhill real
Real
quick.
fast.
So just like you said, those different sports teach you different lessons. And different characteristics, not just on within the sport, but also in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be in life in some situations where you can't let all those emotions out like
Right.
that. You
Right.
got to learn how to deal with them within,
Yeah. Yeah.
and express them in a positive light too.
Right.
Without, you know, making yourself skid down the road a little bit.
Because then you get exposed.
Exactly.
Then you get exposed.
Exactly.
Baseball, you get exposed real quick.
Yep. Yep.
You
It
be going
happens fast.
real fast. You be going 3 for 3. You go 4 for 4 one day. You might have went 2 for 4. You might have had two grand slams or two home runs, and then the next day you you 0 for 5, and you try to
Hmm.
scratch your head like, wait a minute, what's going
What's
on
going
here?
on? And if you don't make those adjustments, that 0
Adjustments.
for 5 will turn into 0 for 20 real quick. I done been there. I've been there before. Believe me.
I know. I'm just saying that because I've started thinking because I start like you talked about basketball, and that's something I originally I learned that first because my dad was 6'6". My dad was 6'6", so I'm
Hmm.
6'3". So he always played basketball. So he wants to teach. He wants to teach his son basketball. That's normal, and I'm the oldest. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. And then and I'm left-handed, and he's not left-handed. So I do things a little different than he does. So he's like
Hmm.
getting upset with me. What are you doing? I'm like, Dad, I'm left-handed. But I start thinking about that because you got kids as well in
Yep.
Mexico. I know this is off the record, but you with your kids, are you going to teach your kids how to play basketball or baseball?
I'm gonna try to give them. I'm gonna teach them everything. The baseball for sure. I got to. But since I grew up playing both basketball and baseball, basketball was a game my dad taught me as well. Like he was a college basketball player. He's really good. He's like a legend in our town where we come from. So it's definitely something I want to instill in my kids and teach
Okay.
them as well.
Are
So
you are
I'm
you gonna
definitely
be a
gonna let the.
okay? So are you gonna be a good dad, or are you gonna be a crazy dad? You know how these dads like
No.
you be on the sideline. Come on, let's
Yeah.
go. You're a Charles. You represent the Charles boy. Let's get it.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not gonna be that one. I'm seeing that growing up. But both my parents they were coaches too, and I think that
Oh,
because they understood that part of it, that they were really good at that.
okay,
Being more chill, let me do my thing.
okay.
But every now and then my pops would yell something out. But it'd be but it would be like a more he's just chilling, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of learned that from them, just to be
Okay,
able to
okay,
chill, enjoy those moments, have fun, laugh, at
okay.
certain things, but at the same time, maybe throwing a cue here and there, like, hey, you know.
I just had to ask that because I was thinking, I'm
Yeah.
like, he got kids, so remember what you're saying now. You reap what you
Yeah,
sow.
yeah. I'm
You got to
saying this
remember.
now, but in the moment I'm gonna be like, ah.
So I'm like, listen, don't forget what you said on the podcast, brother.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good, man. I appreciate that. that. You know, I just want to make sure I give that out because I want to make sure for the listeners and the parents that are listening. Sometimes it's a little bit overbearing for some people. For the kids, I think is a little. You got to have some balance.
Yeah.
There's a time and a place for things. Back in the day, my dad used to yell at me and scream at me like, oh, but he was from military. He was militant. He was a Marine, so that's
Mm-hmm.
all he knew. I'm not excusing the effort,
Yeah.
but that's something that he was taught. So I'm totally the opposite.
Yeah.
I kill you with niceness. I just give you the look, and I was like, hey, mm-mm,
Mm-hmm.
it
Yeah.
ain't it ain't gonna work. And then and they be like, "Oh, coach is upset. He hadn't said a word." So I kind of
Mm-hmm.
got a different approach about that. It goes back to what you talked about the mental. You talked about the
Yeah.
mental about in high school. The younger Arthur, the mental approach, because baseball really is mental, and you
100%.
gotta have some tools, and some people blossom later. It sounds to me based on just just from research and all this information. You start off, you got drafted at the 20th round. I think how many rounds was back then, Arthur? Was it about 40?
Yeah. We'll say
Was it
like
like 40?
50, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
40 or 50, somewhere around there. And
Yeah.
that I think they killed that when COVID came. They stopped that when COVID came,
Yeah.
and then they changed it, which I think it went south. That's just my opinion, because I still think there's
Mm-hmm.
other guys that got talent that hasn't had a chance to get drafted. But looking at your resume, got drafted 2010, and then now 2025, you are in Mexico. So that apparently at that present moment, I believe God seeing you in a better area, because it sounds to me just from doing your research, you look very happy based on videos, and just that's just
Mm-hmm.
per se. You look happy, you look comfortable on what you're doing. Based on now, if we had to ask the question about the draft, what would you do different or prepare the next Arthur or the next guy that's coming 2026? What would you do to prepare the guys getting ready for the draft?
Well, I'll just put it in from my perspective of me, we didn't have that much money to where I can go to all these different showcases and perfect games and all those things. So come from the situation that I was in and not really knowing too much about that stuff. Um, I would say some of that stuff is good, but obviously I couldn't get to all that, right? So I would just say, like you said, to prepare for those the draft or the pre-draft or the workouts and stuff. I feel like I did a lot of work, and from what I understood and what I knew, the knowledge that I had about it, I wasn't a top prospect on everyone's radar. I
Right,
was one of the guys that kind of came in and was like, oh wait, who's this kid hitting all
right,
these home runs, dead center, or hitting all these home runs into the stand. And I wasn't on anyone's radar. So what I would think maybe would be to try to take that opportunity to get on somebody's radar, and maybe try to take the leap to do a little bit more of those things just to be seen.
mm-hmm.
But again, the preparation as far as the performance standpoint would be more of the mindset. I can't emphasize enough just how much I feel
Mindset.
like the proper approach, the proper mental routine to kind of help me hone in and focus and really know what to expect would have made me a better, performer, and so and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of those pre-draft workouts and those workouts I did really well. I opened a
Okay.
lot of eyes and they had me stay after, and the GMs and those cross checkers asked me a lot of questions and try to fill me out a little bit to get more information because,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I wasn't really known,
Mm.
but I think just body composition wise, getting myself in better shape. I think that
Okay.
could have been a better
Yeah.
thing, understanding, hey,
Right.
these weights are important. You need to hit
Yeah.
these.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
like I played basketball, so I ran a lot. I was more of like a lanky, shape. Tall, lanky dude. But putting on more muscle, I feel like would have helped me as well. Look better in that uniform.
Right.
Put a little bit more eyes on you right immediately when someone sees you. Like, oh
Mm-hmm.
wait, who's this dude?
Right. Correct.
But yeah, just I think preparation in that way, taking more ground balls, doing more picks, and just learning more about the game and
I like
in
that.
in those aspects. Yeah.
I like that what you said, because a lot of guys know they have the talent, but coming from California, and then went to Bakersfield, then get drafted. So you went through certain different types of tiers of learning. You know what I'm saying? You went through
100%.
different
Yeah.
tiers, and with that, based on what you where you're at now, it sounds like you just blossomed, and you was just a late blossomer. You were
Yeah.
late, and it's
100%.
okay. You were just late, and it's okay. Brother, late than never.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
Late than
And
never.
I
Go
feel
ahead.
like that's why like I'm so much how I am now as far as like the preparation and trying to educate young players. Even my brother Austin, he's with the Kansas City Royals, but
Okay.
I like pushed him a little bit more throughout high school, especially that COVID year when there was no baseball. I was
Oh,
like, look, man,
whew,
you need to come back this next year. You need to be bigger, faster, stronger in every single way. You need to be hitting this ball every single like way better. Don't take this time as just this is a vacation. Take this time
right,
as okay, I'm about to open eyes when I get back. And I feel like that was a big thing, and that's a big thing now is if you're bigger, faster, stronger, and a better athlete, you have a better opportunity. And
you're right.
it's just the mindset of work. What are you willing to do? And that was something I didn't understand because I had both sports, so I didn't really focus all my time and
On
really
one,
getting the
right,
right workouts in, doing the right weightlifting program, and all
correct,
these things that I know now. Like if I would have lifted weights the way that I lift weights now, or been a little bit
right,
more, like not really, I guess, disciplined with it, but doing it more consistently in which to get the
right.
results that I know I
So
can
what
get
you need,
now.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel like you said like the late blossom or the late bloomer would have came a lot earlier,
yeah, yeah,
and you
right,
never know what
right.
could have happened. You never know what
Correct,
I would be
correct.
now.
And you
So
probably wouldn't be in Mexico either. You'd probably be
exactly,
in the
yeah,
states playing. But everything God has a reason for it. When you
amen to
tell your
that.
story,
Yeah.
I praise God for the opportunity to be with you and talk to you because you remind me of this guy. I'm looking at my notes. His name is he was a late bloomer too. His name is Mike Piazza, the Hall of Fame catcher. And I
Yeah,
said that
yeah.
he played 16 years, and they say he's one of the greatest hitting catchers in baseball history. Mike Piazza. I'm going to say that
Yep.
again so they can catch that. And I said that because he was a late rounder as well. But the good thing about him was, and he had connections. His coach was,
Hmm.
it's good to know somebody. Everything's about the power of connection. Everything's about the
Yeah.
power of connection. Everything. Even in the Bible, it talks about Adam. I'm talking about not, Abraham with Lot. God said, Abraham, go by yourself. Lot came with him. So Lot gets blessed. And I'm using that
Yeah.
analogy because I'm reading this Mike Piazza and Tommy Lasorda, I apologize, and how he helped him, mold him to have that opportunity because he got drafted late. And
Hmm.
then he was like, nobody knew him. Nobody knew Mike Piazza. Who was this cat?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, Tommy, his manager, the manager let him in, and everything happened for a reason. I said that because I was sitting there listening to your story, how this guy blossomed so late because when he first came in, he hit a career of 427 home runs. That ain't nothing to sneeze on. That's quite a few.
Yeah.
you
Yeah. Yeah.
know,
No doubt.
that's nothing to sneeze on. And then, which leads me back to you. And I was looking at your stats. When you were in the minor leagues, I think how many years you're in the minors? Was it 10 years? How many years were you in the minors? 10 years.
um, in the states from 2010 to 2017, or
Okay,
with indie ball in between there for one
so
year.
you hit like 199 or 100 home runs. That ain't bad. But
Hmm.
also, I'm looking at it from a different aspect because those seasons could have been shorter. I think some of the season was shorter seasons,
Hmm.
or also you probably didn't get as many as bat. But I can see as you played longer, your numbers start elevating more.
Yeah.
And I also realized MLB, Major League Baseball, is a business. It's a business,
No doubt. Yeah.
and if you're
You learn
not
that quick too.
if you're not you're not producing when they have this projection, then you're gonna get
Get
you're gonna
axed.
you're
Yep.
gonna get axed quick. And so, with that, playing with the Toronto Blue Jays, I want to throw some out there. How was that experience going to spring training if you can recall that when you went there? What was that like?
Like my first spring training. was, I mean, eye opening to say the least. You know, you're there with the big league players you've been watching on TV. You're seeing, the Jose
Who
Batista right there next to you hitting in the cage, and you're like, wait,
what's going
like
on?
you got all these guys, that and all these great players at the higher levels too, hitting in the cage. You don't know anybody. You're just like taking it all in,
Okay.
It was exciting. It was exciting to say the least. It was a something you just don't know. You see stuff on TV, on
TV.
movies, like, oh, this was pretty. I bring Major League, like the movie Major League. You see them going to camp, but this one it's totally different because there's hundreds of guys from all different levels. You know what I mean? There at the same facility. You got different. The big leaguers go to the big league field later on, but everyone's there in the morning, to kind of eat and do their thing. But it was just an eye-opening experience, man. And you see guys that are big, strong, muscle dudes. You see guys that are real skinny, but they got that wiry pop. Like different body types, different regions and areas and countries that they're representing, that they're coming from, different languages.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy. But it's super cool to see all those baseball talents in the same place at the same time. Representing their families. You know what I mean, with an opportunity to play professional baseball. It's crazy,
Man,
but super
I, I,
cool.
I like that. So when you were there, I'm going back to that one that first year. That first year,
Yeah.
I know you got to go back. I'm thinking about what was it like for little Arthur back then. I know you probably was starstruck, trying to stay trying to stay focused, and you realize you're here now. My question is, what was different about the first couple weeks for spring training based on high school and college? What was different? What was that like, as far as that adjustment?
I think the biggest thing was just the work.
You
Like
said the work.
you get in there right away, and I was always told, hey, get there early, leave late. That was
Okay.
something I was told: get there early, leave late. But getting there early at the beginning and not really knowing what to do is different. Like you see these guys get in that they see those guys. I get there at 6 a.m., I get
Okay.
dressed, I eat some breakfast, I go hit, and you see guys from AAA all the way down just working. You see guys, boom, they're on the half field getting ground balls in, and you're like, okay, like yeah. But then after they take all that, after they hit, they take all those ground balls. Now, boom, we got a meeting, and then at 9, boom, everything gets started. Now everybody goes to separate fields. They do more ground balls, So it was
Mm-hmm.
understanding that, hey, this in order to be a professional, you got to do you're doing tons of reps. You know what I mean? But it's not just reps. You're doing it also present. You're having to concentrate on these reps. You're turning, hundreds of double plays. You're getting hundreds of ground balls. You're doing hundreds of PFPs. You're getting all these different things in to help mold your game and to make you look like a true professional. So I would say the work was different, the workload. High school you took, I don't know, you might get sometimes you get 10 swings of BP and that's it because that's all you got time for. And maybe you have 15 ground balls and then you do some player defense and you know what I mean? Like you don't have that much time to do a lot of that stuff. So you don't know what it feels like to take
Right.
50
Right.
swings in one session for early work, before you get into the real
Right.
practice where you're taking more swings. It's not just 10,
Mm. Wow.
um, junior college, the same thing. Junior college, you get more swings. I got more swings there at Bakersfield JC, more ground balls, but still wasn't anywhere near how many ground balls I took, how many picks I worked on, you know, in baseball 101 or in learning baseball and the situation of the game and just so much more that goes into it that I had no idea. So
Mm.
going into all those things, I wish I would have had like a journal or something so I can write down
Yeah. Yeah.
everything. And I told my brother the same things, like, man, like
Right.
these are memories and things that you can take with you.
Take forever.
Write down your experiences, write down what you're doing every day, and take notes because there's so many things I don't remember that I wish I did,
Right.
and things that I learned or things that someone told me that I wish I would
Right.
like remember, dig back into my memory and be like, man, that was a bar right there. Let me go ahead and,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
keep this
Lock
with
it
me.
in.
But
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing was just the work, the repetitions, and understanding it's not just about the work, it's about how many of those reps that you're actually present for when you're tired, you know, or just at any moment, just being present for those reps and really getting the most out of it
Man, it sounds like you like it's like working overtime every day.
every
Because if you
day.
every
Yeah.
day, because if you get, because I've got a partner, a friend of mine that works for the Astros, and he's here, not too far in Palm Beach, and he told me the only day he has off is Sunday. Sunday. That's the only day he has off. And I'm like, he's a
That's crazy.
manager.
Yeah.
He's a manager of the team, so he don't
Yeah.
he don't he don't get off. There ain't no off. So I'm like,
Yeah.
so he's like, this is serious. It's like you
Yep.
said, you get up early in the morning, eat breakfast together, you go to a meeting. The practice haven't even started yet. We
Yeah.
ain't started yet.
Yeah. You're
I'm
taking all
like,
these swings, getting these ground balls, and practice hadn't even started.
I'm like, wait a minute. So he's telling me this, and I'm trying to retract what you're talking about, so I can educate the listeners so they can understand. This is episode 102. Arthur Charles, the Mexican All Star. But man, I'm just saying that because a lot of times people think that it's more than just a hobby. It's work. It's a
It's
lifestyle
work.
now.
Yeah. It's a
Like you,
business, like
this
you
is
said.
right. It's a business because at the end of the day, they will cut you if you don't perform.
Yep.
You will go home real quick.
That is a
So
fact. Yep.
I just want to rehash. You talked about the Blue Jays, and then you got picked up by the Phillies. Were you able to go to spring training with the Phillies when you were there? And
I
what was that
did.
like?
Yeah.
How was that? Who was there? Who was there when you were there?
Ryan Howard, Chase Utley.
Oh, okay.
So it was, yeah, a lot of those guys, were there still. So yeah, like Cliff Lee, Cole Hamels, all those guys were still there.
Okay.
Had Ruiz, the catcher. So I mean,
Okay.
yeah, there was a lot of those good players that you seen, guys that are on that
Okay.
World Series team and
Yeah.
still doing it. So
Was
yeah,
it
like I said, it
different?
was a
Was it different between the
yeah.
Phillies and the
So
Blue Jays?
yes, I would say, I mean, I love the Blue Jays. Their organization, their player development, everything was amazing there. With the Phillies, everything was amazing there too. There was a high quality, high class organization. We ran a whole lot more though. That was one thing that I did not like. We used to laugh because when I was with the Blue Jays, we used to laugh like, man, like these dudes got to run so much. Like we just played a full nine, and they were running, 15 sprints after the game. We're like, dang, you know. And then I got traded over, and I'm playing against the Blue Jays, my old my old teammates, and they're laughing at me like, Charles, Charles, but I didn't know at the time, like it's all for injury prevention,
I
strengthen your
get you.
hamstrings and make sure that
Okay.
your legs are strong and,
I get you.
stamina, endurance. So there's a method behind the madness. But
Oh, okay.
there's where I really learned, like, okay, where I started like my, I guess you could say, yeah, like 2013 is where I was really like, okay, I need to make sure that I really have my body in shape. I need to take care of my
Mm,
nutrition, and I like, seeing how they worked and see how they were, and seeing the changes in different body types, from guys that I had played against prior. I was like, okay, like this is now where I'm starting to really understand the importance of like working out and making sure that I'm strong, but also that I have that stamina and that endurance. And it
mm-hmm.
was that I feel like is when I first started, was like, okay, I need
Wow.
to I need to make sure I'm on top of this.
All right. I like
But
that.
great, they're both great organizations. I learned so much. I took so much from both. I really, obviously with the Blue Jays, just getting my foot in the door and all the friends and relationships that I made there,
Right.
that was also part of it. And I still have guys that I consider brothers now that I still talk to from those days, as well as with the Phillies. So
That's good.
I think I
That's
think
good.
both organizations were great. Honestly, they were the perfect place for me. Things just didn't work out with the Phillies. I wasn't progressing how I needed to. I didn't make the proper changes at that time that I needed
Time.
to, and
Right.
I made them the next year. I was like, man, something's got to change. When I got released from them, I was like, man, something's got to change. I went back to the drawing board and we made adjustments. So
Yeah, I like that. That's good. That's good
yeah,
stuff, man. I appreciate what you just said, and I'm going to go into this other question based on what you just said. You talked about the transition. So basically, you're stepping into the professionalism, being a professional athlete, which now you are in Mexico, and you know, one of my favorite countries. Which, for the people that know me, they know that my wife is from Mexico, and I'm proud to say that.
Yes,
You
sir.
have
Got it
you,
on the hat. You know, we got
I gotta
it
make
on the
sure.
hat.
So
Yeah.
when she sees it, she'll be like, "Hey, that's a hat." So
Yeah.
you have really blossomed, man. It sounds like, based on, like I said, you are, I guess, the kid that they didn't think that was going to be as much as you are. You have come around quite a bit. You're an all-star team in the Mexican League as well. You have become the 2025 this year Lagan Mexican All Star in the home MVP. Let me must repeat that. I'm sorry, the
Yeah.
MVP of the All Star game in Mexico, and also the home run king. So you have really come around. Like, really come around. I don't want to ask too many questions because you still playing. You still playing.
Still
Well,
doing it.
you're still doing it. So I seen that from watching some of the videos with the Mexican League. They do like celebrations and stuff like that. It's like really totally
Oh
different
man.
from the states. Totally different. It's a totally different animal because you do that in the states, they look at you like what you doing. I'm like, me,
Yeah.
I'm like, let's get it on. I like that. It gets me pumped up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Winning the All Star. Let's talk about the home run derby first. What was
Oh
that like?
man.
What was that like? Was this your first year in the Derby, or you done it before?
This is my I was in there. I was in the Derby last year as well.
Okay, so what's the difference
Yeah.
between last year and this year?
So my this year, my whole approach I gained because of what I experienced the year before.
Okay.
So the year before, I ended up losing to Yasiel Puig in the semifinals.
Oh,
But
lost.
the
He's playing in the
reason,
same. He's in the same league as well.
yeah, yeah, he was here in Mexico as well.
Okay.
So I lost to him, but my problem was I was trying to pull all the home runs, but I had my target set to right field, so I was hitting home runs, but they were going foul. So this year I was like, you know what, we're looking to hit it to center. I can put it out to center, but I know if I change my sights, that I'll be able to pull those home runs and get them out to right. So that was the biggest change this year. Just obviously the home run derbies are fun. You got big names in there. But this year Robinson Cano was in the home run derby
Oh
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, he's playing out here too. He's great dude, tremendous talent, obviously, big name, you know what I'm saying? So it was just fun to be able to compete on a stage like that, in Mexico with someone like him and the other guys that were involved as well. It was super cool.
I
But
like
yeah,
that,
man,
man.
it was so fun. It was electric. It was in Mexico City this year. The fans were going crazy, So shout out to the fans for showing so much energy and love to
I
us out
like
there
it.
because it was electric. It was nothing short of amazing experience. My parents got to
Oh
go too. That was the first time they ever seen
yeah.
me compete in something like that, and I won,
Wow.
so it made it even better.
That's good, man. Praise God. That's
Yeah,
wonderful,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Thank God for that opportunity, man. And I'm proud of you. That's good because I mean your story is I think you have an electric testimony, and also you were on the
Thank you.
All Star team. So
Yeah,
so let's talk about the All Star team. So where'd you bat in the lineup? Third or fourth or fifth?
I hit. I actually hit sixth. I actually
Oh,
hit
they must got
sixth
some
this year.
studs. They got some studs there then.
Yeah, no, no. Like we had a great team. We had a great team, guys that have been there, that have proven that they belong, for sure. And this year we did it different. I have dual nationality, so I
Okay.
have my U.S. nationality and my Mexican nationality as well. So this year
Okay.
the All Star was like it was kind of like the futures game, like
Oh yeah.
like you have all the people from outside of America on one team, then you have the USA team, right? So we had the
Okay.
Mexican team, and then we had all the players that were imports, on the
Oh.
other team. So I
Okay.
hit sixth on the Mexican team, and it was another great experience. It was fun to be on the team with those guys. There's a lot of great players here, and to represent Mexico was cool. It was an honor. We were down early. We ended up coming back. I hit a 2-run home run in like the sixth inning or seventh inning to get us started, and then it took off from there. I think I was 3 for 3 in the All Star game, and
Oh.
yeah, I got the MVP as well, and that's the first time it's ever been done in Mexico. MVP of the All Star Game and the Home Run Derby champion. So I was
At
the
the
first
same.
one.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow. That's
yeah,
huge, man. That's huge. That's
yeah, yeah. It
huge.
was
I like
sick.
that. That's really nice, man. And is Trevor the guy that played here, Trevor Bauer, is he pitching in Mexico?
He was here last year. He was an all-star last year. He won pitcher of the year. I mean, he's nasty. That dude is
Is
he's
he
a
still
real
pitching
deal,
there?
you
Is
know.
he still
Yeah,
pitching
not
there?
here. He's in Japan right now.
Oh, he's in Japan now.
Yeah, he
Okay,
went to
okay,
Japan. Yeah, yeah.
okay. I just wonder, because I knew he was in Mexico, and I thought that he was still in Mexico. But shout
Yeah,
out to Trevor as well.
he helped lead them to a championship, the Diablos, Mexico City.
Okay.
Yeah, I
And
think
what's your team?
he was
What's your team name? What's your team name?
Leones. Leones.
Leonis.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Leones de
Okay.
Yucatan.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
you speak fluent
I
Spanish
speak
now.
Spanish now. Yeah, yeah. I speak Spanish now. I got it down. Yeah. But still, sometimes I get tripped up, or there's some words that because I'm trying to do everything, flip it over in my
Right.
head, to translate it and then try to say it, and sometimes I get tongue tied or mixed
Okay.
up. But yeah, I understand and
Okay.
can speak it.
That's
So
good, man. That's good. That's
yeah,
good. I mean, you got a great resume as well. I mean, it's just I'm impressed. I
thank
mean,
you.
you talked about several guys that I mean, I didn't realize how many. I know you said Cano is there, but who else is in the Mexican League with you? That
Man,
that the listeners that the listeners will know who they are.
there's so many ex big leaguers here. Like Didi Gregorius is here, Andrelton Simmons, Jonathan Scope.
Okay.
Um, we have a few on our team too. Like we have, I mean, there's honestly there's so many. There's
Really?
this league is yeah. This every single year I've been here, this league has gotten better and better, and this year I think is even better than the other leagues, the other
Wow.
years. You got guys throwing anywhere from 95 to 100, not just guys out of the pen. You got starters doing that,
Mm.
so you got hitters, like we had Pablo Sandoval was here last year. You got Addison Russell here. Like there's just Chris Carter. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many big names and ex big leaguers here that have made a home here, and guys
Wow.
that go out here and compete every day.
Wow.
It's
That's
cool.
good.
It's cool because you like I said, like you see these guys playing on TV, and to be able
TV.
to compete with them or against them here in the same league is crazy.
Man, wow. That's good, man. That's really good. So I got a question about the Mexican League. How did you get there? Coming from you had all this experience in the States. You
Yeah,
did I mean, I thought you did pretty doggone good, but I know it's a business. It's all a business. And
yeah, for
so
sure.
why you didn't go to Japan instead of Mexico? What happened? How did that come about?
Well, I didn't. Well, one, I know I didn't have the numbers to go to Japan right away.
Okay.
So I came to Mexico. One of my buddies, he hit me up. He was like, "Man, like, why don't you come out here to Mexico with me? Like you're not getting the at bats that you should get out there. Why
Right.
don't you
Right.
come? Why don't you come out here to Mexico with me?" And I'm like, you know what? Like, let's do it. Talk to your GM. I'll be out there. If they can give me, give me a good offer, I'll be out there. And boom, I signed. Came out here late in their season. It was probably like the last 3.5 weeks to a month of their season of 2017. I came out here and immediately balled out. Just the last 3.5 weeks or month of the year, I had 10 home runs, like 24 RBIs. I was hitting like 352. I was going crazy, right? But it was just fun. I came out here and I let go of all the thoughts of like, and that was another thing, the reason why I preach the mental game is your mentality and how you go about every single day and look at the game can dictate your performance.
Yes. Yes.
And coming from not a situation that wasn't necessarily ideal for me,
Correct.
um, and changing the way I viewed coming into the next day every single day, I immediately, boom, I go from what I was doing, or the opportunity that I had and not really getting too much opportunity to going and playing every day. It completely shifted my mind and my
Mm.
preparation. And then boom, I went out there and the results showed. And then the Brewer,
Mm.
they called me back and was like, "Hey, you want to come back, and we'll send you to AAA." And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." It didn't work out. They ended up signing Chris Colabello, but just that little bit of a change in mindset and change in preparation led to the numbers that I knew I can have.
Mm. That's
But
good, man.
yeah, but after 2018, I had I was having a really good year, had 16 home runs at the half. We ended up winning the championship. I got an offer actually from Japan to go out there and play, and I was super excited about it, but literally the next game I played the next game before they sent the contract out and I got hurt. So yeah, when I got hurt, that just kind of obviously that voids everything, and just wasn't the right time for the reason, God, only God knows. It wasn't my
Yes,
time,
yes.
wasn't my opportunity, and I'm here now doing what I do, and there's interest in going to Asia from, Japan, Korea, Taiwan, to go out there and play and perform. But
Wow.
until then, I'm here. I'm here where my feet are. I'm trying to help my team win a championship here.
I like that, man. And that's really
Yeah.
good. I mean, I was just thinking about, you've made some transitions. You're the transition man. You made some transitions. I'm just looking at my notes. I'm like, this guy has been from here to here to here, but it's all been progression. It hasn't been like
100%.
you.
Yeah.
It hasn't been like you declining. You progressing. You're
Yeah.
going upward, not downward, because this
Yeah.
which leads
Thankful
to
for
the next.
that.
Yeah, and how God works. God works in mysterious ways, and
Yep.
the word says, trust in the Lord with all thy heart. Lean not to thy own understanding. Acknowledge him in all thy ways. And apparently you do that. Because remember, you started off at Bakersfield, got drafted 20th
Hmm.
round, didn't know anything. You're going into this blind. You're
Yeah.
seeing all these stars, and all of a sudden, it goes back to it. I just paraphrased it. I just thought you didn't get enough at bats, and you said it. You just said it. I just heard you say it. You didn't get enough at bats, and I kind of figured that from looking at your stats. I'm a coach. I'm like, you can't be getting any at bats, which that doesn't mean that
Yeah.
you can't play, but it's a business, and they got other guys as well,
Exactly.
and that's
Yeah.
and that's the
Yeah.
way it is. But it takes maturity to understand that. A lot of guys
Yeah.
get they had that chip on their shoulders. Well, they don't like me. No, it's a business.
Hmm.
This ain't high school. This ain't
Yeah.
high
Well,
school.
and honestly, that was one. I feel like that was one of the biggest things. Is like I didn't vocalize that, but there was a certain moments I was like, man, like what's going on? Like, why am I not playing? Do they not like me? Or like,
Right,
and I made it a point to ask, like respectfully, like, hey, like, is there anything I can do to play more, or what do you
right,
think I can do to get more playing time in your eyes, or to for you to feel like I'm ready to go out there and I
correct.
can help the team, and ask those questions. Those are tough questions to have because sometimes the answers you get you're not gonna like, you know what I mean? But you have to be a man. If you're gonna ask the questions, you gotta be a man and get when you get the
That's right.
answers.
That's right.
And unfortunately, I didn't get any really revealing answers. It was kind of like one of those, hey,
Right.
just keep working and
Right.
do your
Yeah.
thing. But I think, like you said, the maturity part of it comes a long way whenever you're trying to like say, hey, you know, why am I not getting at bats? And oh, you know what? This is a business. For whatever reason, I'm not getting the at bats. For whatever reason, they want to see this person perform. And maybe this is this guy's last chance. You don't know
Correct.
what's going
Correct.
on.
Right.
With
Right.
the business side of it. All you understand is what you're going through now, and it's not necessarily a situation that you like.
Correct.
But you got to continue to work. You got to continue to play hard because as soon as you have a bad attitude or you show
Oh.
them some different
Oh.
side, they see it. You start running your mouth in this way or that way, they hear it. You know what I mean? So, however you take care of your business, remember to be a professional. I feel like that's a big thing. You got to be a professional. You're not
Mm.
going to go up to your office, the guy of your job at the office, and be like, "Hey, principal, what's up?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And come at him the wrong way. Well, then shoot, that high school, they're gonna cut you, and now they're gonna talk about you to other high schools, and maybe you don't have a job. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's
so
true. That's good, man. That's good.
professionalism for sure is something that I had to learn, and through that I matured.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
then you learn to appreciate and have gratitude for those opportunities when you do play.
Right.
And then obviously, like you said, I've grown as a player and gotten
Right.
different opportunities, and I feel like those moments all helped me.
Right. To get you where you are today.
100%.
I've got a few more questions because we're running down. But the question I want to ask you is, which I'm writing a book, which I told you the name of the book is "Are You Really D1?" Which the book basically is a blueprint what college coaches are looking for. And the question for you, being where you are today, you're at this level, and there's kids at high school. What are some things? Well, two things you can give them. You already gave the answers, but I like it. You gave some good answers. If you're paying attention, you already given the answers. But you talked
Hmm.
about you talked about gratitude. You talked about maturity. You talk about seizing the opportunities. You talked about it may not be about you. You
Hmm.
talked about everything. What are two tips you can give a kid that's trying to go D1? What would you tell him he needs to do based on your
Um,
experience?
I think I know I've said some things. I'm trying to think, see if we can get a little deeper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, but like we talked about, it's not always about tools, right? Like if you have the tools, it's about what separates you, right? If I have the same tools as you have,
Right. Right. Right.
what is the separator? What's gonna make that coach choose me over you?
Correct.
And I think one, the mindset and how you go about your business is a huge one, right? Like I keep going back to the mindset, but the truth is you can have all the skills and all the tools in the world, but if you don't have the right maturity or the right mindset, the right mentality, you're not going nowhere. And I've seen it with first rounders. There's been first
Woo!
rounders that I played with that didn't go anywhere because they didn't have this. They had all the
Wow.
tools, but they didn't have this. So I'll always preach that this is the most important thing,
Mm.
right? But outside of that, I would say play the game the right way.
Okay.
Because there's always someone watching.
Ooh.
If
I like
if
that.
if you hit a
I
you hit a
like that.
fly ball, make sure you're running hard. You never know, that guy drops it. Now instead of having a triple or a single, you got a double. Run the ball out, because if you hit a ground ball and that ball bounces up and gets past somebody, maybe you got a double. Now you're in scoring position for your team to help the next guy. Help
Right.
me get those RBIs. You know what I
I like that.
mean?
That's good, man.
Always, yeah. Always want the ball. Always be ready for the next play.
Mm.
Think about what's going to happen before it happens, so that way you can get into a better position and really be able to help your team.
Wow.
It's always about passing the baton, and realizing it's not all on you. That was
Right.
a mistake I made. I put so much pressure on myself to get the job done early in my career. I need this RBI. I'm an RBI guy. This is what they expect from me. I got to do this. I got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But really, baseball's about passing the baton and playing as a team. Where
Team.
it is
Team.
an individual, but you're playing as a team.
Team.
You have to
That's right.
trust that the next guy behind you
Right.
can get the job done too, because he's getting paid too, or he's on scholarship too, or
Exactly.
he's a.
That's right. That's
So
right.
you gotta play the game.
I
Play the
like that.
game. Move a guy
Man.
over, trust the next guy, get him in.
Woo. That's good. Now you gave us three tips, but hey, if they missed it, they had to get it later on the record. This is the unedited version. This is the unedited versions. Episode
Yeah.
102, very own professional baseball player from Mexico, Mexico All Star MVP of this year, Arthur Charles, 20th round draft pick by the Toronto Blue Jays, and we got a few more questions, and I want to ask you, what is your Mount Everest players? Would you have four? Who would be your four Mount Everest players?
Man, well, I know Barry Bonds is on there.
Thank you.
Barry Bonds is on there for sure.
That's
Barry
one.
Bonds is on there. I love King Griffey. Mm,
You got two
man, four
outfielders. You got two
four
outfielders.
players. Hey, you know what? I love Big Poppy too. I got to give Big Poppy some love. He's comedy, and,
It's
and
it's
that
three.
boy, he clutches up and he handles his business.
Mm, Mount Everest.
Dang man, Mount Everest. That's a tough one. That's a hard one. I'm just trying to. I'm kind of spitballing,
You trying
but
to
I
you?
I know I'm for sure about Barry Bonds. That's for sure.
I like that. I'm gonna give you a
Barry
minute to
Bonds,
think about that, Barry, because
man.
Barry is my number one. Barry is
Yeah,
my
100%.
number 1. Period. And
He's up there, no doubt.
Mount Everest. Because when you say Mount Everest, it got to be like
That's
they are at the top.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, okay, who else do I pick? I mean, I mean, because when I play baseball, which you still think about that another guy, you're still
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah.
I'm like
I'm
Arthur.
thinking.
I'm thinking like, man, I was an outfielder, but I started as a first baseman, and
Hmm.
he's not my Mount Everest, but he's probably one of my best players of all time. And you're not gonna believe this, what I'm gonna say. Barry is Mount Everest. Barry's number 1, but the guy
Yeah,
that really just pushed me was Pete Rose
Pete Rose. Yeah, I
because
mean,
that
he's a
goes back to,
gamer.
yeah, and you pull up his stats and I'm like, I don't care what year you are, what generation. The dude was like a hard nose, and he was about
Yeah,
5'10", short, stocky, and
Yep.
he had grit, attitude, and didn't care. Like,
He didn't
listen,
care.
he didn't
If you running guys over in the All Star game, you don't care. You out here to win. You know what I mean? Come on. If you hit boys in the All Star game, man, you ain't. Hey,
Oh
come on.
yeah, I'm thinking about what
You
you
the
just said.
ultimate
He
competitor.
bulldozed him. That's right. I remember that. I
Yeah.
just remember that. Yeah, he ran
Hey.
over the catcher, and he looked at him like, "Dude, you're in the way.
Yeah.
You're in the way."
I'm trying to score. What are you doing?
I just had to give some Pete Rose some love because
Yeah.
if someone asked me that question, that'd be a hard question for me to answer too. I mean, I know for sure my other guy,
Man.
which we said it early in the show, I love Bo Jackson. He wasn't.
Yeah.
He might not be on the Mount Everest, but as far as athlete, overall athlete, the best
Oh
athlete,
yeah. No doubt.
he's number one to me. To
Yeah.
me, overall athlete. That means he can do everything at a professional elite level in two sports. That's what I mean when you think of the greatest of all time athlete. That's what I would
Yeah.
say. But I don't know who else. I mean, because there's some pitchers that
I
can
know.
throw
That's what I'm thinking
that can
too. Is
throw
like
some.
if I should give some pitchers some love, like who, you know what I mean? Like
Because I
I
mean,
honestly, the
man,
only one I'm 100% about is Barry. I mean Tony Gwynn.
yeah,
Tony
right.
Gwynn.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hey,
yeah, yeah. Tony
Tony
Gwynn,
Gwynn.
Tony
You
Gwynn,
know
yeah, Tony Gwynn and Barry. Those two for sure. I'm just gonna
those
put.
two.
I
Yeah,
don't. I
Barry
can't
and Tony Gwynn. They're up there for me.
for sure. I'm trying to figure out some. I don't know anyone else that really is that. I mean, no disrespect. They're all
Oh yeah, yeah,
professionals, but when it
yeah,
comes to that level of Mount Everest, the players of all time, there's one player that I
yeah,
wish that I that wished that we're too young, well, we're too old now, but young to know the guy that I really wanted to see if I had a chance to see was three guys. They're all deceased. Jackie Robinson would be one.
yeah.
Number two would be Roberto Clemente, and the other guy was gosh, come on, Lord, I just had it. I just had it. Um, oh, Satchel Page.
Satchel
Those three.
Paige. Yeah,
Those are three guys I want to see. If I can go back in time, those are three
yeah,
guys I want to see play. Just I don't have to ask them questions. I just want to see them play. Just see them play. Satchel
yeah.
Page, he was like an old guy that can pitch, and you and you got Jackie Robinson and the other guy. What did I just say? The other guy was the third guy was
Satchel Paige, Jackie
Robinson
Robinson,
and
Roberto
Roberto
Clemente.
Clemente. Yeah,
Yeah,
those three. Because Roberto Clemente was like ridiculous
yeah,
based on the video. So I don't,
yeah,
I just
yeah,
had to throw that out there. I mean, I know we just kind of went on a little tangent, but I just thought we could just
yeah.
have some fun with
Man.
that. But
But yeah, so
I don't know any other pictures.
I don't. You got. I mean, to be honest, the best closer of all time in Mariano Rivera. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? He was. You got one of him, arguably one of the best.
yeah,
I mean, the best of all time. But
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
But that I don't. I mean, you got Nolan. He was good.
yeah.
Nolan.
I mean,
But
Kershaw's going to be one of the best to ever do
yeah,
it too. You know,
yeah,
like
he's gonna be there. He's gonna be there.
yeah. I
But I think
mean,
his time
it's
is up.
just
Art. I think his time is up.
yeah,
I think.
yeah,
I mean, I love him. I love him. I love him.
yeah.
He's a believer. I got to give him a shout. I love, but I think because he's had so much on his arm, he's used it so
Oh yeah, no
much.
doubt, no doubt.
It's like it's wearing out.
Short rest, playoffs, try to get a win. Like
Right, right.
he's done it all. He's the ultimate competitor. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
yeah.
he's put himself in those positions because he
Positions.
wants to win. You know,
Yeah.
and you know
I love him. I love the guy.
that's the mark of a winner.
And he's
Yeah,
a lefty. And he's a lefty. He's a
you know what I
lefty.
mean? Yeah, got to give it up for the lefties. You know?
He's a lefty and he's a believer. He's a believer and so I love him. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that guy. But I just wanted to, unfortunately we can't get the answer. For everybody listening, Arthur has not answered that question.
Man, I
He only
can't.
given
I
us
mean,
two.
I mean, Barry Bonds for sure. Tony Gwynn. Um, I love Griffey. You know, I feel like I gotta throw the kid on there. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't I can't think about that one on the spot. You know what I mean?
Funny. You be thinking about it tomorrow later on in the
Hey,
day.
100%.
You be after your game. You be
Have to
thinking,
shoot you a message like, you know
yeah,
what? Actually,
that's who he is. But it's
yeah,
all
yeah,
good, man.
yeah,
This is good,
yeah.
man. I have to ask you a couple more questions before we close out because I know we got to go, but I want to thank you, man. Again, we've been
Yeah,
here for
thank
quite a
you.
while. It's been a blast. I mean,
It
you
has
know,
been.
it's been good. I like your story. You're like a celebrity in Mexico now, right?
Yeah, I get a lot of I get a lot of love out here, that's for sure,
Yeah. So
and it's super cool too when you go to other places and they give you love, you know what I mean? Like that's one of the best feelings, because you play against these guys, like for instance, our rival is Diablos in Mexico City, right? The team Cano's on and Trevor Bauer was on, and those are our rivals, but to be able to go there and people like show me mad love, during the All-Star game or every time we go there, there's even people cheering for me,
yeah,
or they'll tell me after the game, like, man, like you're hard to hate, and I'm like, you're a good player. It's fun watching, you're a good
I
person. I'm
like
like,
it.
oh, I appreciate it,
I like that.
but it's cool getting that love from everyone throughout the league, and it just kind of I feel like it solidifies, the person that I've tried to become, inspire not just, my children, but
Right.
everybody, all the young
Right.
kids, they're the future, you know what I mean?
Right.
Take time to sign everywhere I go and just, give respect and love to everybody, respect, love, and kindness,
I
so,
like that. That's good,
yep.
man. Seeds of love. Seeds of love. That has to be God in you. It has to be. I don't care what anyone say.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that has to be God. But I want to say thank you, man. I got one more question I'm gonna ask you, and the question is this: who would you say that you mimic your style of play today? The author that's now, not the old one, not the
Yeah.
the younger one, the now mature, continue to get better and better. Putting things first, putting God and your family, your wife, and you've come a
Hmm.
long way as a person and as a baseball player. Who would you
Thank you.
think you welcome? Who would you think that you mimic your game similar to? Because you only one Arthur Charles, but
Yeah. Yeah.
if you had to compare with similar traits, who would you say in the United States that's playing the MLB? Would you compare your swing, your play, your attitude? Where you at now?
Um, I would say, man, that's a tough one. Because I mean, like you said, I mean, there's only one me. I've had to make my own changes and adjustments within my game, But as of right now, like kind of how I feel at least, and from what I've seen other players, I would say more of like a big poppy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not just in the sense of like my game, but just mentality. I joke around. I'm a funny dude with my teammates. You know what I mean? I bring that good light energy. But when it's time to lock it in, I focus up. I do what I can to deliver. And I'm also a hitter that's feared. Regardless of
Oh,
whatever the numbers may say, or regardless if I'm having a bad week. I'm still the guy in the lineup that's feared, and it's because I do what I do, you know what I mean? And thank God I'm able to do it,
that's
right?
right.
But
That's right.
I feel like there's never a moment in which, I mean, obviously Big Poppy had bad years too, but there's never a moment in which you felt comfortable just throwing this guy a fastball or hanging a pitch. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's uh he's a
Very well
funny.
respected. You're very well respected, to be more the word,
Yeah, 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 for sure,
because they're not gonna just throw you anything.
Exactly, exactly. And I gotta go into at bats knowing that. And even sometimes as hitters, we get a little ego, like, okay, well, he's got to throw something now, and
Right.
then we get ourselves out, But
Yeah.
you learn from those situations
That's
too.
right.
But I think I would say someone like him, Big Poppy, because I'm fun, energetic. I joke with my teammates, I'm funny when I do like interviews or whatever, so, you know what I mean? And I just have that light energy, playful energy, but I also can lock it in and get the job done when the game's on the line.
That's good because Big Poppy is for the guys that don't know who Big Poppy is David Ortiz, and he also played first base.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
and he's left-handed. So for people
Yeah.
maybe don't throw haterade on my boy Arthur. Don't throw haterade. I'm telling you now, don't throw it. We're not gonna entertain it. And the question was, who do you have similarities was or attributes? And he said, and that's what he said. And I respect that. And I would possibly say the same thing. But it has been a blast, man. I have enjoyed everything. You have said today it's been nothing but a blast. It's been enjoyable. I got one last question, and then we're gonna close it out. Let you close it out, and then we're gonna be called today, man. Thanks again for coming on the You Going Pro podcast. This podcast, man, we shoot to develop, help develop proficiency. People say, "What do you mean by proficiency?" What does proficiency sound like? Professional. We help you develop, become a more professional in every aspect of your life. That's the goal of my podcast, of my business.
Love it. Love
Because
it. Yeah.
at the end of the day, people say, "What do you mean by proficiency?" You going pro. You know, you may not be a pro baseball player, or you may not be a pro basketball player or football player, but you can be a pro in something.
Yeah.
And like you said, I
Yep.
mean, life lessons every day. You know, the question is, how are you dealing with it? How do you deal with adversity? You know, because baseball is gonna kick you in the face for sure. It's gonna
Whew.
kick you. It's
Yep.
gonna kick you. The question is,
100%.
how long you gonna be on the ground?
Yeah. Yeah. You
How long
see, you can fall.
you're
You
gonna fall.
can
It's
get
just
knocked
gonna
down.
it's
It's a
gonna
Rocky
happen.
movie,
Yeah,
you know?
it's gonna be a movie. So it depends on how quickly you get up and
Yeah.
go from there. But I'm gonna ask you one last question. You know, this is a question based on your family. You know, you've made this transition going from United States to independent indie ball and now international ball. Do you think that this is what God put you, and you would probably be in the international baseball player for now, and just go out in the aces and just say, "Hey, I was an international professional baseball player. I started in the United States." Do you feel at peace with that? That you can rest and say, hey, "This is where I'm going to stay, where God put you."
Yeah, honestly, I do one thing, and that's always try to be where my feet are. I
Okay.
really focus on that because I've thought about stuff in the future before, and I feel like it's brought me worry or it's brought me stress. You know what I mean? And one thing I learned is just you got to live in the moment. Live in the moment, win in the moment, right? And I've been blessed, with the opportunities that I have. And I really feel like the time that I had the opportunity to go to Japan and I got hurt, it was because I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
wasn't the time for me,
Time.
or the people that I had close to me in my life weren't the
Right.
right people.
That's right.
And similar to what you said, I feel like my wife has done so much for me. She has brought so much out of me. She's made me better in every way. We have two beautiful children, and wherever I'm supposed to be, I know I'm going to be at. But I can tell you right now, I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm
Okay.
happy. I'm happy in this moment. Um, with the blessings that I've received, with the family that I have, all the things around me, I'm super happy. Like you said, I've made a name for myself here. I've become
Yes.
maybe
Yes.
a legend for this team that I'm on.
Correct. Correct.
I've done so much, and it's all for a purpose. And I feel like if I would have done any of those things prior, I wouldn't have met my wife now. I wouldn't have had my kids now. And I'm happy. I'm super content with where I'm at,
I
and
like that,
I'm
man.
thankful. I'm thankful,
That's
and I have
man.
a tremendous amount of gratitude for where I am right now. Even we wouldn't maybe have met. You know what I'm saying? We may not have been done
Right.
this. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like there's
Right.
so many
Right.
things that
Right.
have led us to this point, and I'm happy. I'm content. I'm ecstatic. I've been
Man.
blessed, and I'm glad to be here with you now. Doing this,
Man, this is
passing
great,
on
man.
the
You
message.
got man, you got God all over me. I'm getting all excited. I'm getting excited. You got me all pumped up over here. That's good, man. It's good to
Yeah.
have someone you're interviewing that you feel there's a connection. And I'm not spooky. I'm just saying, God works in mysterious ways. And like you just said, but you just gotta seize the moment, and every
Yep.
opportunity that God gives you, take something from it. You may not like everything I say, but take something. There's good and even in bad. There's always something good
Yep.
out of it. You just gotta figure out. You just gotta think. Stop focusing on you, and
Yeah.
focus on the other person.
Yep.
There's an old saying I used to tell. I won't say somebody, seek to be under seek to understand somebody, don't be understood. Because
Man.
when you start trying to people to understand you, no,
Facts.
no, that's just something I always tell my, because I've had so many challenges. Talk about our wives, and I was like, she don't understand me. No, 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 that's the problem. You need to be seeking to understand her.
Man, that was such
Cause
a
I,
big transition, and not just in relationships, but in my life.
right,
Is try to understand. Okay, well, what is it that you're getting out of this to where you're not understanding what I'm
standing.
saying? You know
That's
what I'm
it.
saying?
That's it. That's it.
And And that was the same thing and not just like I said, not just in relationships, but in life. And for
Life.
me, it was also baseball. You know,
Correct.
okay, I got released, but why? Let
Why?
me understand. Let me
Stand.
take a step back and
Right.
understand why I got released so that I can make myself better
Correct.
because I believe there's still more game in me, you know?
Correct.
I still believe that God wants me to play this game. So what do I need to take from me being released and understand from this to where I
Correct.
can take the next step in the next direction and
Mm-hmm.
better myself, you
So
know?
right. You man, whew, man,
Yeah.
this is good, bro. It's hard for me to close out. This is good. This is good, boy. Oh,
Yeah,
it was like it's like
I got, we're playing ping pong. We got
I'm
bars for
like,
each other. You know what
yeah, I'm trying
I
to close it out. You keep pulling more out of me. I'm like, come on, stop now. I'm like, Lord God. I mean, God is like Jesus. I'm not complaining. I'm sitting there thinking, wow, I don't, because I interview a lot of people, but I don't get to. I'm normally the one that's always doing the pulling. No one's
Yeah,
pulling it
yeah,
out of
yeah.
me, and you're pulling it out of me too. I'm like, bro, don't say that. You done got me stirred up because the Holy Spirit's all over me. I'm like, and I just said that because I was sitting there thinking about all the stuff you've talked about today. You've talked about so many different things,
Hmm.
and we're at episode 102. Now this is the unedited version, so think about it. When I did my first one, I wasn't like this.
Yeah,
Right.
you have
Think it.
growth. You know,
Right.
you've
Man,
grown. Yeah,
your very first time you went to spring training, we talked about that early in the episode, and you was like memorized, and you're like, man, this is the first word that came out of your mouth. You know what you said? Work.
yeah, yeah,
You said
yeah.
work. That's all you
Work.
talk. Work. He's like
Yeah,
work. He's like, wait a minute. Wow, this is
yeah,
real work. And then you
yeah. It's
said,
not just fun, not just
yeah,
fun and games anymore. This is
yeah,
work.
work.
You getting it in.
Right. But then it's
Yeah,
made you better to who you are today.
hundred
And I
percent. You
must
learn how to be a pro.
correct learn how to be a pro,
Yeah,
but it's a stage you had to go through, and you kept talking about you kept saying stuff like you got cut. You're like, wait a minute. But back then you thought it was what did you do wrong, and I said to you it
yeah,
doesn't necessarily mean you did anything wrong, you just didn't do enough. And
yeah,
so, and I learned that
yeah.
because I got cut. When I was going one for 12 when I was supposed to have been getting drafted, and the guy pulled me up from a JUCO, and I'm over here struggling. He's like, "What's your problem?" And I'm sitting there thinking,
Yeah.
I told the coach he had a problem, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, wait, but like we talked about, I had to think about this. Wait a minute. Older Seville now will say, "Nah, you suck. You were bad. You
You
just
know.
you." And then I had a freshman playing over me, and I'm sitting there looking at the freshman. The freshman ain't got the problem. You got the problem.
Yep.
So I had to do
Yep.
some, like you said, I had to do some evaluating myself. And
Yeah.
for the people who are listening, I'm hoping you guys are getting something from this, because this is a powerful, powerful episode, man. I really want to say thank you. I appreciate it, man. And I'm gonna say this for all the people that are listening. I'm not trying to preach to you guys. We're not trying to preach to you. We're just showing love. We're just showing love
100%.
outside of baseball. I think everyone should have a measure of some faith in God. I know who my God is, and I'm not ashamed to say it. Lord Jesus Christ is my Savior, and you can choose who you want. You choose what you want. But I'm just sharing that because
Hmm.
at the end of the day, we're not going to be here forever. We're not. And when you, like you said, when you sow seeds of love to people, you know, it comes back a hundredfold, thousandfold. So
Yeah.
always check yourself. As the old saying, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Am I right? Am I
Yep.
right? We just say
Chickadee,
that
check yourself.
self before you wreck yourself.
Yes.
Hey, that's when you're a little boy. When you're a little boy back in the day, you from Cali and I'm from Chicago. You say, man, you better check yourself because you're gonna wreck yourself. You
Yeah.
just saying it, but now as you get older, you're like, that's true.
It's a bar. It's a bar.
That's a
You better
bar.
check yourself, man. Yeah.
Because you will wreck yourself.
Yes,
But
yes,
man,
you will.
but thanks, Charles. I appreciate it. Arthur Charles, a very own Mexican All-Star MVP, and also the home run king. If you don't mind closing out with a closing remark before I close out. Thanks a lot, brother.
Oh man, no, thank you. Honestly, like I said, this has been such a great experience. Great conversation. Love, like I said, it's been ping pong back and forth. I'm honored to be on the show. I'm thankful for that you messaged me and
Yeah,
gave me this platform to share with you and to give some knowledge and some game back to the youth
yeah,
and to anyone else that may be trying to come this route that I've been on, this journey that I've been on, this wild ride that I've been on, and allowing me to kind of share my testimony and the things that I've learned. So I
yeah,
appreciate you. This is definitely a
yeah.
great platform, and any
Thanks, man.
platform that does something like this has the right idea in my mind and can help. So, like you
Yeah,
said, I hope all the listeners they listen and they really pay attention to what not only what we've said today, but other people say in the future, and that what people have said in the past. Like
right.
this has been great, and I
Yeah,
feel like these things help me too because it brings back memories and it brings back lessons that I've learned that can help
yeah,
me today.
yeah.
So thank you again. Thank you again. I
Appreciate it,
appreciate
man.
you.
If you
Thank you for
guys,
your time.
you're welcome, man. Thank you. And for the people that are listening, they say, "Well, how do I get to play independent? I'm sorry, international baseball." You have to DM that. Don't ask me that. We don't have time for that right now. So people say, "Well, I want to play. I want to go ahead and go over international." Well, if you want to go get international, just DM him on Instagram. You'll find him. It's Arthur
Art
Charles
Charles
Art Charles
underscore. Yeah,
underscore.
Art
So if
Charles
you
underscore.
and he has something on his Instagram as well. You might want to check it at Art Charles. You might want to check it out. And as I stated before, I want to say thank you again, brother. I'm gonna close
Thank
out
you.
here. Appreciate that, man. Send my love to the Mexicanos over there, because
Yeah.
send out to them. You got a brother over here in South Florida.
Yeah.
In South Florida, he loves Mexico. I'm representing the Mexico
Yes,
hat.
sir. Representing.
And my wife loves it because she's Mexican. But I want to say, hey guys, who've been listening to the show 102, Arthur Charles, the very own 20th round draft pick, Toronto Blue Jays, is now the Mexican All Star over there, Home Run King, MVP. Talked about something today. One of the questions I'm asking all my listeners, Arthur, every time is, where are we going? What direction are we going in? We got to have a direction. We got to know where we're going. People are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, but also they're destroyed because they don't have a vision. People don't have a vision where they're
Hmm.
going. So the question is this: where are you being led? L stands for listen. 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 Listen to everything that very own professional baseball player Arthur Charles and myself talked about today. Listen. So when you listen, there's an opportunity that faith can be built when you listen. You start building faith because faith comes by hearing and hearing the word of God. So continue to keep listening to this same podcast over and over and over. Listen, listen, listen. The next letter is E. What does E stand for, Coach? Execute. Execute everything we talked about today.
Mm.
It will not happen unless you execute it. People will sit on it for all their life and just sit on it, sit on it, sit on it. It doesn't do anything. If you want to build a cake, you got to put the ingredients in the bowl. You got to put everything together, and you got to put it in the oven, and you got to put in the timer. So execute what we talked about. The last letter is D. D stands for dominate. Listen, execute, and dominate. I believe God's created all of us to have a purpose in life that we can dominate in some field of life. That may not be sports, but it can be something. So, as I stated before, listen, execute, and dominate. It's very own Coach Larry, aka Seville, and Arthur Charles, episode 102. I'm signing out. Hey, man, God bless. Send my
God
love
bless. I'm
to your
still in
family.
that too, by the way.
What's
I'm
that?
still in that LED. I'm still in that.
I like it. L, where are you being led? Are you driving? Which way are we going?
Yeah.
L stands
Yeah.
for listen, which that's what faith comes in. It. E stands for execute on what you just heard, and D stands for
Hmm.
dominate. So
Yep.
dominate. So
Yep.
hey man,
Yes,
thanks
sir.
Art. Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate
man.
you.
Peace
All
out.